This video is scripted and edited and written by Nehor Dash. This video is scripted and edited and written by Nehor Dash. 15 Great Leaders of the World, which written by Nehor Dash for public domain purpose only. Great leaders of the world. Knowingly or unknowingly, the world has been under the influence of some great personalities. Be it M.K. Gandhi or Nelson Mandela, a plethora of such magnificent minds have showered us with their wisdom, as well as have achieved some extraordinary goals which are revered to date. A variety of leadership styles can be observed in the famous personalities of India and the world. The epitome of their greatness can be seen across various fields. Let us shed some light on some great leaders of the world and get all enlightened. So check out our list, which written by Nehor Dash for public domain purpose only. 1. Mahatma Gandhi, 1869–1948. 1. Mahatma Gandhi, 1869–1948. 1. Mahatma Gandhi, 1869–1948. Born in an ordinary Indian family in Gujarat, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi was a rebellious leader of a multitude of protests that were aimed to liberate India. Moments like civil disobedience, Dandi March, Quit India were his brainchild and cite his glory. Later on, he was awarded the title of Father of the Nation. Education is a powerful tool that brings awareness and greatness in an individual. Mahatma Gandhi, apart from being a popular leader of the world, also had an exceptional academic journey. Read our blog on the education of Mahatma Gandhi to know more. 2. Nelson Mandela, 1918–2013. 2. Nelson Mandela, 1918–2013. 2. Nelson Mandela, 1918–2013. Greatness personified. Nelson Mandela, a revolutionary anti-apartheid, philanthropist, politician and one of the great leaders of the world, was the President of South Africa from 1994–1999. From being sentenced to life imprisonment in 1963 to a Nobel Prize for ending apartheid in the country in 1993, Nelson Mandela has experienced it all. 3. Winston Churchill, 1874–1965. 3. Winston Churchill, 1874–1965. 3. Winston Churchill, 1874–1965. Regarded as the savior of democracy, Winston Churchill was the great mind behind the victory of Britain from the Nazis. Born in an aristocratic family, he served the National Army of Britain and then, later on, became the Prime Minister in 1940. Amongst his many honors, some are being elected as a PM again in 1951, Nobel Prize in Literature, etc. 4. Martin Luther King Jr., 1929–1968. 4. Martin Luther King Jr., 1929–1968. 4. Martin Luther King Jr., 1929–1968. Globally renowned for his speech "I Have a Dream" in Washington, MLK is one of the most celebrated souls across the globe and is named amongst the great leaders of the world. Just like Gandhi, he also continued his struggles through the civil rights movement for the Afro-Americans. He was a firm believer in Christianity, hence, thoroughly followed non-violence. 5. Abraham Lincoln, 1809–1865. 5. Abraham Lincoln, 1809–1865. 5. Abraham Lincoln, 1809–1865. Known as the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln was a revolutionary leader who ignited the free nation spirit in the USA. He was an award-winning lawyer who later on chose the path of politics. Words like democracy, liberty, equal rights, etc. are often used as synonyms to his name due to his inspirational journey of leading the country to victory in the Civil War. 6. Mother Teresa, 1910–1997. 6. Mother Teresa, 1910–1997. 6. Mother Teresa, 1910–1997. Born as Anjas Gonxhe Bajeksu in 1910, Mother Teresa has left a lasting dent on humankind. Because of her unforgettable devotion to empowering vulnerable groups, she has grabbed a notable mention in the list of great leaders of the world. She led a global community in her support which avidly worked for opening orphanages, clinics, etc. around the world including India. She even received a Nobel Prize for her endeavors to overcome poverty. 7. Napoleon Bonaparte, 1769–1821, 7. Napoleon Bonaparte, 1769–1821, 7. Napoleon Bonaparte, 1769–1821, a vital mention during the Great French Revolution. Napoleon Bonaparte was a reputed French military leader who afterward became a popular politician. He has been profoundly remembered as the Emperor of France as well as his significant role in the Napoleonic Wars. 8. George Washington, 1732–1799, 8. George Washington, 1732–1799, 8. George Washington, 1732–1799. Great leaders. George Washington is fondly remembered as one of the founding fathers of the USA. His greatness lies in the fact that he has been the first and the only non-partisan political leader and the President of the USA. He is even credited for the victory of the Continental Army in the Revolutionary War. 9. Dalai Lama, 1935–present, 9. Dalai Lama, 1935–present, 9. Dalai Lama, 1935–present, being awarded a Nobel Peace Prize in 1989, the 14th Dalai Lama, Tenzin Gyatso, is listed amongst the great leaders of the world. He was born on the 6th of July 1935 to a farming family in a small town in Tibet. For more than 50 years he has been tirelessly campaigning for non-violence, peace, and democracy. 10. Julius Caesar, 100 BC–44 BC. 10. Julius Caesar, 100 BC–44 BC. 10. Julius Caesar, 100 BC–44 BC. Gaius Julius Caesar was a revolutionary personality of the historic times whose life has been romanticized by the famous William Shakespeare himself through his works. He is arguably the most popular Roman politician and a reputed writer of famous Latin prose. His legacy can be estimated from the fact that his name is synonymous with leadership, and the month of July is named after him. 11. Franklin D. Roosevelt, 1882–1945, 11. Franklin D. Roosevelt, 1882–1945, 11. Franklin D. Roosevelt, 1882–1945. Franklin D. Roosevelt, often known as FDR, was an American political leader who guided and assisted his country during some of its darkest years, such as the Great Depression. FDR's leadership teachings are still applicable for business executives today, even more than 80 years later, especially those leading a company through difficult circumstances. Roosevelt had polio at the age of 29, leaving him crippled in both legs. Nonetheless, he was elected president in 1933, and he is the only president who has been elected 4 times in a row, until his death in 1945. He also led the American military into World War II, allowing America to emerge to supremacy. Roosevelt is still recognized as a great leader of the world because he never let his infirmity or disability define him. He has shown enormous personal courage every day of his life. 12. Ashoka, 304 BC, 232 BC, 12. Ashoka, 304 BC, 232 BC, 12. Ashoka, 304 BC, 232 BC. Ashoka, the Emperor Ashoka or Ashoka was another Gupta dynasty emperor of India who was given the title of the Great. He was a grandson of the Gupta dynasty's founder, Chandragupta Maurya. Ashoka the Great was the last emperor of the Maurya Empire, ruling from 269 BC. He, too, made significant conquests, and his kingdom included nearly the whole Indian subcontinent. He was a gentle and a people leader. Following the terrible Kalinga War, he was so touched and grieved by the suffering that he abdicated his kingdom and all his wealth and converted to Buddhism. Today, he is recognized as a prominent Buddhist advocate who preached Buddhist principles and lessons from Buddha's life to the people. 13. Alexander, the Great, 356 BC, 323 BC, 13 Alexander, the Great, 356 BC, 323 BC, 13 Alexander, the Great, 356 BC, 323 BC, Alexander the Great, often known as the man who conquered the world, is widely regarded as the greatest military leader of all time. His leadership style, great presence of mind, battles, vision are still being praised in the books of history. He was born in 356 BC and controlled the greatest empire in history by the age of 33, stretching from Greece to Egypt to India. He was the king of Macedonia, and he was maybe the finest military leader that ever lived. He accomplished the great feat of uniting numerous Greek city-states. He was unbeaten in combat until he died of malaria in 323 BC. His strengths were his insight, vision, and global influence, and a strong military. 14 Maharaja Ranjit Singh, 1780–1839, 14 Maharaja Ranjit Singh, 1780–1839, 14 Maharaja Ranjit Singh, 1780–1839. Facts about Maharaja Ranjit Singh, founder of Sikh Empire, who was born on this day Indiana, 1780. Maharaja Ranjit Singh, also known as the Lion of Punjab, or Sharif Punjab, was the first Maharaja of the Sikh Empire, which controlled the northwest Indian subcontinent in the early part of the 19th century. Afghan invasions, chronic infighting among Punjab's numerous sovereign kingdoms, and the impending prospect of British expansion had left the province politically unstable, economically weak, and religiously divided by the time Ranjit Singh was born in 1780. All of this changed with the ascension of Maharaja Ranjit Singh. During his rule, Punjab and northwest India experienced a golden era. Though a devout Sikh who spearheaded an effort to repair his religion's main sites, notably the Harmandir Sahib or Golden Temple in Amritsar, he also went to considerable pains to protect religious freedom inside his borders. People from all walks of life, religions, and castes were engaged in his empire's modernized army and administration. Infrastructure was renovated, trade was opened and developed, and the arts flourished under his rule. 15 Bill Gates, 1955, present, 15 Bill Gates, 1955, present, 15 Bill Gates, 1955, present. Another personality on our list of great leaders in the world is someone who is an inspiration for all the innovators. Bill Gates is an American billionaire entrepreneur and philanthropist whose vision and leadership have inspired an entire generation of innovators. Bill didn't see his first computer at school until he was 13 years old. He paid to use it, and when his money ran out, he hacked into the computer and used it for free. You might argue that young Bill was destined for an imaginative and innovative career in IT at this time. He had previously established a company with his friend Paul Allen when he was 15 years old. They had no idea that just 5 years later, they would be altering the way the world does business and even communicates. He totally restructured and gave birth to contemporary IT, which is being used by millions of people all over the world. For more than 2 decades, Gates has consistently been listed among the world's wealthiest individuals, and in 2016, Forbes surpassed this by rating him as the world's richest man,